Okay, good evening. So today we will be seeing CSS colors and font properties. So yesterday we have seen how to apply the CSS stylings to different elements using the CSS selectors. So here today we will see how to add the colors. We can add colors by different ways. So it is the main lifebloods of to I meant to say for any website to look very colorful and powerful. It's one of the main thing is like very attractive. We should have the colors to be very appealing. So here we can have directly how to give the colors. So we can give the color uh, because already we have implemented few of the things like by using color equal to red, something like that we already implemented in the previous session. So here we will be implementing uh, the same thing like color by names like red, blue, yellow, something green like that we can give, and it's the simplest notation. Otherwise we can give the hexadecimal values. So we can get a palette where we can have some hexadecimal value and it should be uh, this. So for example in pure red we can have multiple shades, right? So the shades will be actually differ using the hexadecimal codes, so we can use the color palette. So similarly we can define by giving the RGB values. So for example it is dark green we are defining, so the similar kind of thing we can actually already define using RGB values. So how much pixels we should give, something like that we can be discussing. So similar to RGB we can have like alpha values like yeah. So it's like semi-transparent. So for example there is multiple uh, uh, pages and we should have some whenever we hover over that uh, element, it should actually visible some of the code, some of the text or some of the colors when we hovering, like it should be semi-transparent. So that can be done via this RGBA alpha RGB with alpha values. So now hue, saturation, lightness. So it's again define a HSL like how much angle, like color, how much intensity, how much brightness. So whenever we increase by brightness, the colors might change. So for example, if you see on the PPT itself, here it's a light blue, and here it is like a dark blue shade. So similar kind of stuff we can do on our website. So it's like so there are multiple elements we can give. So it's like one shade by giving some color angle and intensity. So how much lightness we can actually define that as well. So the other thing is HCL with alpha values. So it's like we need to use color palettes to define that and to define the harmonic color combinations as well. Now let's go to exact today's CSS color challenge. So now the goal is so we need to create an HTML page using hello world. So it should be we will go to index.html. So our end should be something like this. So the background it should be different color for hello, and the world it would be different color. So when we go to the index.html, we are actually not using external styling. Uh, we are using the internal styling only. So just for demo purpose. So now we need to create a background of web page to antique and make h1 like white smoke the color, and the, make background to h1 to dark green, and make h2 to this color like as I said it's they have given already the hexadecimal color name. The same thing we have given the same thing. Now if I just preview this index.html, so we haven't applied any styles at here, so it should be like only hello world, but our goal is something so we need to create the this web page into this kind of stuff using different so now if I go to this, so now what I can do, so can right here, let me write under the commented section, so flower bracket, so background color it should be anti-white. So let me just check. Okay, the body, so we need to specify this thing, right? The body background, okay. Now if I see now it went the body background color change it to white, and even our errors got removed, so just if I just remove this again, then it turned back to white. So now our step 1 is complete. Now I want to make h1 the styling, the color should be white smooth, then in the same the background color of h1 should be, so if we go to the CSS colors again, I'll just so for the h1 only we need to so let me rewrite h1, yeah, so we need to define separately, not in the same thing. So now we got the same thing like the dark sea green. Now the h2, so what they have given to, they have given the color to be in hexagon. the same thing, the background color of that should be doing this as well. So now if I just again go to our goal, if you carefully observe, we are actually achieved the same thing like hello world. So whatever the color they have given, we have achieved the same thing now. So this is all about colors. You can try with different colors. You can we already shared the CSS palette where we can check the hexadecimal colors. You can try with different colors combinations. Now the next topic for today is font properties. Generally when uh, we define a text on a web page, so there are multiple things like how the font should be look like of either it should be generally in the Word document, for example, if the Word or even PPT, we can actually define the fonts, right? So it's like, yeah, so there are multiple fonts. So similarly for the web page also we can define in the same way what is the font family it belongs to. For example, it's as of now it's TWSend. So similar kind of stuff we can actually define the font like, so for all the text on the web page, on particular web page, we can define the same thing like the font family should be belongs to something like serif and Arial and serif. So like Times New Roman is preferred. So yeah. So these are the examples how we define that. Similarly, we can define the font size. So font size can be defined in pixels, and EM is like the parent element. Like so, for example, it is called M, the font size, or we can give 1.2 M. So it is like the whatever the root element, the size is after the root element. This element will be having like that much 1.2% times larger than the root element. Font size is like 100%. So similar the font weight. So here the same thing, italic, bold, or underline. So it again depends on however how we give the weight. Like if it is normal, and if it is bold, and even in bold, if it is like if we give uh, a number, so it is like lighter weight, 100 being the lightest, 900 being the boldest. So it's like we can vary the boldness. So similarly the styles like so italic the weight instead of if it is italic oblique, uh, similar kind of stuff we can actually the font style we can mention. And even in line height, so how much line height. So for example, if you see here, we can actually align text direction, align text. So there will be a line height also, like if it is a paragraph, how much line height is there, like line spacing options, how much we can give between the lines, 1.5 or 2, something like this. The same thing we can define on the web page also. So now if I go to the next font properties. So here the font family, just for reference. For example, this is the font family. So now if I just open this preview, so it will have different font families like serif, Arial, serif. So we have different. So we have given. So for Helvetica, so this is the font for that ID equal to. So we already seen the stylings, right? Like CSS selector. So we are giving with using ID. So for ID we defined the Helvetica, and the font family is Helvetica or sans serif. Similarly, Arial we have defined the another. So if you carefully observe, we have just defined all the text families, how they represent cursive, monospace, it's like fantasy, everything. So similarly, let's close this. If I go to size.html, now again the same thing. So just for our understanding, so pixel is like 20 pixels is 1/9 of an inch. So let's wait, just it is loading. So it is like again, so this is like 1 pixel font size. So it is like 1 pixel is 1/96th of an inch. So 1 point is like 1/27th of an inch, and it's like 1 nm is 100% of the parent element, and rem is 100% size of the root element. Yep. So em is em and rem are two of the another ways where we define the pixels like font sizes. So it's like if you see the pixel is like we have kept 20 pixels, and the same thing the point we have 20 point, and em 1 em we have kept, and font size for rem 1 rem we have kept. So it's like the I meant to say I 1 em is the 100% size of the footer section, right? So like this is footer is the parent element of this paragraph element. So here it is like if we carefully, and if I just go to this will be the 12 points, whatever the font size we define for footer, it will be the same thing. But if I just change em to 2, so it is actually changing like 2 em or 4 em. So it is multiplying 12 into 4, something like 48 pixels it is going. So yeah, 1 em. And for rem is like the root element of the this thing. So root element, by default the root element will be the title, or the I meant to say h1, maximum of the time it will be the h1. So whatever the size it is there, it will actually go to the root element, and it will fetch the size, and the same thing. So we can actually change. So the HTML we can even the font size can be defined as XX large, or for example it's like the total the paces, for example large if you see, then everything went back. So it's actually like scaling of the web font sizes. So it depends on HTML, like HTML is the root, and it actually uh, depending on the root HTML, like for example this is the HTML, because the root everything starts the root, like under HTML only our page will be defined, right? So yeah, so that's how actually EM and REM works. Pixel is again like this, and point is something like. So now if I go back again, so now the next thing is like we will be working on the goal. So let's wait for the load. So now important CSS properties: color, font size, font weight. So when if we go to the index.html, now if I just run this, so we have to do's to do, and when I just preview this HTML, how it will be. So it hasn't like applied anything. So but when I just go to CSS properties, like the goal, sorry, the goal for, so we should be changing, we should not be changing, so we should be changing the web page to something like this, like, and we need to align the text to extreme right, and font weight, font family, font size. So now just if I go to the goal index, now the change of color is to, so we have to change the color and the font size of the element to 2x size of the root element. So it's like we need to use 2em. Similarly, for the change the weight of to font weight to 900, as we see there is font weight, and the change the font family from the Google caveat regular 400 font weight. So we need to give the link also, and change the text align to right align, and change the root HTML element size to 30 pixels. So generally, before that, we should be knowing font. So this is the one of the website where we will have different kind of fonts. Mm. So whenever we select something like right, so for example, we have selected this one, dancing script. So whenever we select, it will give something. Yeah, yeah, this one, the embedded code. So something like whenever we select this, uh, I meant to say the font family should be something like whenever we select from Google Fonts, we can actually copy this code and we can actually paste it in the stylings whatever we perform. So now if I go back my to Visual Code, so now I need to apply CSS. So we are using the internal CSS here. So now for, so if I just so but if I changing the paragraph elements to color equal to color, all the paragraph elements are changing, right? But we want to have a specific property like for example I want to change only this thing, like I can have something like id equal to, let's go something back where how we can get the id. No, you can just take something class also id, anything is fine, just I'm taking class. So now just I have what I did, I just given some class and then what I would refer to Corel, the same thing. Now we will be changing something like so better for interest of time, just we are going to the same thing, so we can actually define different classes, so, or I think they have different IDs. So yeah, color, size, font size, the same thing. We can define different IDs, and for every ID we are actually defining the size. So for example, they change the font size to 2x of the root element, and the root element is like HTML root element, so it is like at 6 the thing, but we are writing all that above, because we are defining the body also, right, the body color, so we are defining the root element the first, so font size to 30 pixels, and then we are changing it to 2 rm. The same thing we are changing the bold, because bold font weight is the bold thing, so we are changing it to 900. So font family is like a caveat, cursive. So as shown you from the Google API, Google Fonts, we can actually get this one. So one is like caveat, and we are defining the other one is a cursive. So how we define it? Like the font family, we will have specific already, but we will be defining the caveat. Uh, Whatever we come from Google. So whenever we go to that something like this APS, we copy the code and paste it under before the heading, before the head, and under the style. So and the again the alignment is right aligned. So this is main one of the thing how we can actually link different fonts from maybe Google fonts, or there are multiple websites as well to link the fonts. So this is one of the way to link. So Google Fonts is one of the direct way, and they will give directly us the like link the code to copy paste in the CSS. So when now just I run this show preview, so it's like the font size is double, and then font weight and font family. Text is because it is right aligned, we are actually doing the right aligned. Yeah, yeah, that's it for today. Thank you.